In the meanwhile, if anyone who's here can confirm if you can see me, hear me, okay, that'd be fantastic. Just let me know on chat. All right, looks like we are live. Welcome to another live session, another Sunday. Unlike some of the others, I would say India is probably on the brink of defeat at the hands of Australia in the World Test Championship. Uh, just not a great test match for us, right? I mean, after all of the hard work that we put in 2 years, just doesn't look like everything is going our way. Anyway, thanks so much to everyone for joining in. For everyone starting to think about fall 2024, what I'm going to do in this live session is basically, of course, take as many of your questions as we usually do, answer any and all questions that you have, and so keep the questions rolling in the comment section. But before we get to the questions themselves, right, I just want to take a minute to just make sure that I'm talking about fall 2024 and starting the timeline for them. But also on the other hand, if there's anyone that's looking to do fall 2023 and have a bunch of visa questions or any questions around how do I do this in the interview, where should I be in my process, etc. So in the first half of the live, for the first 5 minutes, while you guys keep bringing me your questions, I'm essentially going to break down the timelines and where you should be for both fall 2023 and for fall 2024. All right. I'll start with fall 2023. So this is everyone that's going to the US in August 2023, August or September of 2023. So this year, in the next couple of months or so. In terms of timelines, you guys should have gotten your admits. You should have gotten your I-20s by now. If you haven't, please put pressure on the university to give you your I-20s. Ideally, you should have booked your visa appointments. If you haven't found appointments, or if you're struggling to fill the DS-160 form, or if you are trying to, figure out slots, etc., and are not being very successful, get in touch with us. We'll help you out with that. I'll put up the link to Discord. I don't have anyone helping me out today with the stream, it looks like, but I'll put up the links to the Discord channel, to the Discord server, sorry, and you can come in there and we have a bunch of notifications coming out for everyone that is waiting for slots, etc. So that's the place to be. You should have gotten admit, you should have gotten I-20, you should have ideally finished filling out DS-160 and getting your visa appointment. If not, come to Discord. For those of you who have already managed to get their visa appointments, start preparing for your visa interviews. For those of you who have gotten your visa, congratulations, right? For folks that have already gotten their visa, I think this is the best time for you to start booking your flight tickets if you haven't already, because once you hit June 15th and beyond, the prices are just going to skyrocket. I am actually heading out to the US as well around the same time that all fall 2023 guys will. And so Lufthansa seems to be one of the cheaper options out there. So check out Lufthansa. I'm flying out Bangalore, Frankfurt, Los Angeles. That's the route I'm flying out, and it was relatively cheap as compared to some of the Etihad Emirates that are out there, even as compared to Air India. So maybe check Lufthansa out for anyone who's flying out. All right, let's do a quick timeline for fall 2024, guys. All right, fall 2024, you are going to start your master's degree in 2024 August, which means one full year before that is when the applications will open up. So there's about 3 months of time before the applications open up, which means that in order for you to hit the early deadlines, the first round deadlines, you should be giving your GRE if you already have not in this 3 month period. May, June, July. These are your three precious months, which also is the summer break for a lot of you in college, right? This is your key time for you to give your GRE and get the GRE score out of the way, right? Once you hit August, September, October, these are the three critical months where you're sitting down, identifying the universities, identifying courses that you should be applying to in these universities, figuring out which professor you can work for in terms of theses, if you're going for a thesis program, figure out what works best at the university, start writing out your statements of purpose, start building out the applications in August, September, October. November, October end to November is your application time. Start filling out everything, putting everything together, get your transcripts in place, get your recommendations in place, and hit the submit button in the first or second week of November. All right, that's the timeline. Again, re-emphasizing for 2024 starts August 2024. 1 year before that is when the application starts. In order to be ready for the application, give the GRE May, June, July, critical times for you to give the GRE. August, September, October, critical time for you to sit and work on the application material, statements of purpose, resume, letters of recommendation, additional essays, supplemental essays, diversity statement, everything you need to build out the entire application for masters. Next, October end, November 15th. That's when you sit down and apply. All right. So again, two different timelines, one for fall 24, one for fall 23. Let's go ahead and take as many questions as we can. Looks like a bunch of questions are already streaming in. Let's start with this. I have a low GPA. Can I get admission into MEM in the top colleges? Okay, so let's break the myth around MEM. And we did a really fantastic live session with Neha Budh on Discord 2 days ago, if I remember right. Fantastic insights about the Northeastern MEM program. I'm going to do a lot more. We are in fact going to be doing one essentially every single week. So Discord is the place to be. Once I'm taking a break, I will put in the link to the Discord in the comment section. Make sure to join. That's where all of the action is at. All right. Low GPA for a top MEM program. When I say top MEM, when anyone says top MEM programs, there are about 5 or 6. A low GPA might not help you there, but there are 15 really solid MEM courses. If you are able to get into any one of these 15, you're okay. As long as the GPA is not below 5.5, maybe 6. If you're above 6.5 GPA, you will have a decent shot at some of the really good MEMs out there. That's not going to be a problem. All right. Great question. GRE pattern is changing. What is my take on it? Last time I did a live session on LinkedIn and YouTube, someone asked me the same question and I said I'd read up about it and come back. I have actually put in the time to read up about the new GRE format. I think it's going to be better than the old GRE format for people that have not taken the GRE ever. If you have given at least one try of the old GRE, continue to do that and don't move to the new GRE. But if you haven't given a try on the GRE and are not constrained by time, you can 100% give the new GRE a shot because of the lower time limit, which means that the overall pressure might still be the same, but your fatigue is not going to be that high. With the original GRE or the old GRE, which is how we will refer to it right now, the test was upwards of 4 hours. You had 2 AWA essays to write even before your first section of the actual test started, which means that you are fatigued already. That has come down to 1 essay, and then the total number of sections also come down. So in terms of the overall fatigue, it's going to be much more manageable, less than 2 hours or just about the 2 hour mark in terms of the exam. So that's going to be fantastic as well. In terms of the subject, the portion, I don't think too much has changed on that. So if you have experience giving the old GRE, continue with that before moving on to the new one. If you have never taken the GRE and if there is no time constraint, then give the new one. That's okay. All right, fantastic profile, 9.1, 328, JP Morgan, MS in computer science, non-thesis. What are good non-thesis programs that you should, and should I plan to write a research paper? If you are applying to non-thesis programs, you do not need research. Think about it this way, right? Non-thesis programs are essentially enable you to get into corporate, which means that you absolutely do not need to provide a lot of research background, essentially, right? So from a non-thesis perspective, it doesn't make sense for you to go ahead and do a research paper. What are some really good universities? UIUC, fantastic MCS program. Texas A&M, another really good MCS program. North Carolina State, right? These are 3 really good programs, along with, of course, your top hitters, Georgia Tech, University of Michigan, Carnegie Mellon, right? Those are 6 programs that I can think of that are pretty solid. Pranav, I think a fantastic profile. We'd love to add value to this. I think we'd be in a very good position to add value to applications like yours. I'll tell you some of our admins with similar profiles, right? So Sahaj went to this year is very similar profile, 8.8, I think, if I remember right, about the similar GRE, similar WorkX, etc., going to UIC for MCS. We've had this year 9.2s, Stanford CS. We have a couple of 9.3, 9.4s, computer science at Carnegie Mellon. We have a couple of Purdue. We have a couple at Georgia Tech. So we are in a fantastic position to be able to help you out. Really good profile. Congratulations on building that out. Make sure the last part, which is to communicate all of this in a succinct application, in a very strong application, you're not going wrong. Yeah. Schedule a free consultation call. I think the ticker is going down. Gradvine.com. Just smash that big orange button, and we'd love to help you out one-on-one. MSAI at Sunny Buffalo. So I have mixed reviews about this program. It's great from a curriculum perspective, but from a job opportunities and being able to actually get a job, a little tricky because of its location. Even though Buffalo is in New York State, it's far away from New York City. And Sunny Buffalo in general, the AI program is relatively newer. I would, in fact, recommend similar brand value programs, for example, a Northeastern, much better because of the co-op, right? So in terms of curriculum, really good. In terms of job opportunities, a little on the lower end. Anna, how's Dallas data science? Really good. Really good. So University of Texas is, I'm assuming Texas Dallas data science, really good program. Also has internships built in. So definitely something that you should consider. If not for this intake, next intake, you can defer it. Sure, you can defer it. Come back. We'll help you out with applications for this fall or next fall. Deferral from university, will that affect visa? Absolutely not. Deferrals, first of all, the visa officer has no way of knowing whether you're a deferral student or a straight up candidate. So from that perspective, you're okay. Apart from that, in terms of deferrals, right? If it's a personal reason, if it's for any reason, if the university is okay with it, there's no reason why the VO, the visa officer, won't approve your visa. Deferrals will not lead to visa rejections. There might be other reasons for visa rejections. Deferrals are definitely not. 7.7, 7 years, 7 months, 2.5 years gap, no research papers, 310, intake MEM, Johns Hopkins, Duke Columbia, a little lower than GRE. GPA, unfortunately, not something you can control, but maybe give another shot at the GRE and push that up by 5 points. 315 on the GRE would be fantastic, which will increase your chances at these universities. Right now, I think the chances are at 10-20%. With a 315, you can push that significantly higher up to about a 30-40%. Yeah. Really good universities that you're targeting. Add in Northeastern MEM to the list. Add in NYU MOT to the list. Add in UIUC as well to the list. Those are really good places for you to think about. Aspire to do masters in computer science, 8.5, 2 years, 315. Should I be giving GRE again? Yeah, it's a little tricky. I think the quant was maybe a couple of points below what it should be at. 163, 164 would have been fantastic. 2 years of WorkX is great. If the idea is to go for a non-thesis masters, I think you should be okay. I would not recommend writing the GRE again. Give applications a shot this year. If it doesn't happen, then next year you can take a shot on the new GRE. But I think you're okay with the GRE for this intake. Make sure to come to us. We'll help you first identify the best possible institutes to apply to for an MCS degree for your profile. Second, build out the best application process as well, the best application material for you as well. Yeah. So from my perspective, I don't think you need to retake the GRE just yet. If this year doesn't go well, that's when you think about retaking the GRE. It's on the border. Don't worry about it too much. All right. Just gave the Yocket test, 150 in quant. 20 days approximately. What should I do to get 160 plus? The only thing you should be doing, Vedant, is literally giving, if you have 20 days, 8 full length tests. 8. If you're able to sit yourself down for 4 hours and give 8 full length tests, figure out which section of the quant you're struggling with a little bit, then based on that, 100% we will be able to push for 160 plus. The secret to giving any time based test is full length exams. For a visa interview, do you plan to use the OPT period? What should the answer be for this? Himani, just note down the language that I'm using and it should be within this language itself. Thank you for that question. Yes, I plan to take advantage of the work authorization available to me as a benefit to the F1 student visa. I plan to take advantage of the OPT period, work for a couple of years along with the STEM extension, gain the requisite skill, and then move back to my home country to continue my journey towards XYZ. All right. So the key points here are to, yes, acknowledge that you will use it, tell them that you will use it to gain skills in your core domain. And then the third point is to tell them that you are going to get the theoretical plus the skill, come back to India and practice or do something here. All right, keep the questions coming in, folks. In the meantime, I'm going to put that question on while I forage for the link to the Discord server so that I can get that to you guys. Just give me 1 second. Found it. So this is the Discord server, guys. Make sure to add yourself to the server. That's where all of the action is. I'm there pretty much 24/7, so you can catch me there, and I'll try and answer any questions as well. All right, let's take the next question from Sarath. Top MIS programs, can you also shed some light on the H1B scenario? Sure. Sharad, I think top MIS programs, Berkeley, Carnegie Mellon, Kelly, Indiana, University of Arizona, Texas A&M. Really good programs. You will not go wrong with them. What is happening with H1B? H1B, I think, so one of the things that has happened this year for the last year filing is that the application went electronic, which meant that it was only a $10 fee. And so all of the consultants, the contractors were able to put in multiple applications for the same candidate, which means that there was large scale fraud, which USCIS also pointed out. There is speculation that there will be another lottery at the end of this month. So stay tuned for that. In general, there are a bunch of revisions coming to the law, bunch of stuff happening in terms of strictening the regulation around who can apply, how they can apply, stopping multiple applications and all of that kind of stuff. So we will see an improvement in people getting the H1B pretty soon from next year onwards. Again, in your case, if you are a student in India right now, you don't have to worry about it because you will apply now, get in max next year, and then 3 years later is when you will have to worry about in terms of the H1B, because by then you will still be in college. By then everything will improve. Don't worry about it. Deferred from University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. TOEFL is lower end. I hadn't submitted. Should I reappear GRE TOEFL considering? Why? You got into University of Michigan. Why would you want to defer or take any of the other tests? University of Michigan is the top 5 public school in the US. Do not, deferral is okay for some public reasons, the private reasons that's okay, personal reasons is okay, but don't give the GRE TOEFL or anything else because your chances of getting into something better than that is very, very minimal. So just think probabilistically in terms of getting a fantastic admit like University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, is going to take you a lifetime again. So my recommendation, don't defer, don't do anything. If you can go this year, go to University of Michigan. If you can't defer it next year, go to University of Michigan. But go to the University of Michigan. Don't look to apply again. Top programs right now. Berkeley, University of Washington, Seattle, Carnegie Mellon, University of Arizona, Indiana, Texas A&M. I have no idea, my friend. The PGP program at Geo Institute, I have absolutely no idea. I don't know anyone who's gone there. I don't know anyone who's graduated from there. So I am the wrong person to answer this. I'm going to reserve my judgment once I have some outcomes out of it. Is it difficult to get a job after MEM as compared to more technical courses like MIS or NSCS? The answer, Ritika, is yes, but that has nothing to do with you. That just has everything to do with the market and the size. For every 4 or 5 software developers, there's one product manager, right? So in terms of the skill set, in terms of the number of opportunities, of course, it's going to be constrained. So for you to get into an MIS and then find a job, or CS and get a job, 4 times more likely as compared to getting a job as a PM. Does that mean you don't apply to an MEM? No. You go and apply to the top MEM programs and you fight for the smaller cohort size of PMs that graduate, right? While there is a dearth of or paucity of number of jobs as a PM, there's also a dearth of number of people that have the PM skill set. So no, the answer is not apply to NEMs. Definitely apply and aim for a product manager. But just in terms of statistics, of course, the number of software developer roles is going to be much higher than that of a PM role. Does my gap year affect top MEM programs? No, gap years are a cultural thing. In the US, gap years are absolutely okay. People take gap years all the time, either for health, to travel, to figure out what they want to do in life, just to bum around and laze around. All of these are culturally appropriate in the US. India, I think, is still coping up with the idea of taking gap year, etc. So it doesn't matter at all. Your gap year, you can honestly talk about what you actually did during the gap year. Come on Discord, DM me. Let's talk about it. We are actually hiring for a bunch of positions right now, both internships and full time. I am staffing up for fall 2024. DM on Discord. First, add yourself to the Discord server, and then you will find me. DM me. Let's talk. We can talk Monday and take it forward. Haven't gotten the I-20. Will this be a problem? Yes. Kshitij, I don't know which university you're going to, but put pressure on the university to. It's a online document. It's not a document that has to be couriered. So put pressure on the university to give you the I-20, because without that you can't apply for the student visa, and therefore everything gets delayed. Let's say you get the I-20 by June 15th, slots are going to be premium then. If you're able to get a visa before July 15th, then great. Otherwise, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Yes, Discord, I will put it again. My favorite place to be. Best universities for industrial engineering. Okay, so let's break down what industrial engineering itself is, right? So understand what it is and what it is not. Industrial engineering has a branch, is a subset of, I'd say, mechanical, statistics, probability, data, analytics, as well as manufacturing. So it's at the interdisciplinary set of all of these areas, which means depending on which area you want to concentrate in, there's a bunch of different universities that specialize in each one of them. For example, let's take Purdue, right? Purdue is fabulous industrial engineering program, but the specializations are more so towards supply chain, towards manufacturing industries, towards logistics and stuff like that. On the other side, Cornell, IEOR, Industrial Engineering Operations Research, fantastic program. Their specializations are more towards operations research, optimization, data, and the use of probability and statistics to figure out the optimal path for doing anything. Those are the kinds of programs, right? Best universities, let me give you 3 or 4: Cornell, Purdue, Texas A&M, NCSU, Carnegie Mellon. CMU doesn't have a straight up industrial engineering department, but it has a mechanical engineering with a specialization in industrial. University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. These are 5 or 6 programs that are some of the best places. Bro, I recently gave GRE 322 preparing for IELTS. Can you please give free material? Sure. I have a bunch. I have a folder with all random material on both the GRE and TOEFL and the IELTS. Anyone needs free material, please get in touch on the Discord server. I will give it to you. There's a full, huge, massive Google Drive that we've curated. Please take it from me. Don't pay too much amount of money for test prep. Undergrad mechanical, 2 years as business operations, UT Dallas for MSBA. How do I answer transition? Big myth. And Rohan is not the only one that's thinking about it this way. First of all, before you are a mechanical engineer, you are an engineer. Every engineer has problem solving ability, ability to read data, ability to form a narrative and a story, analyze trends, come up with decisions based on this data. That's the core skill set an engineer is supposed to have. So when you're moving from engineering, irrespective of mechanical, EC, chemical, whatever, when you're moving from engineering to business analytics, it's not a transition. It's going deeper within your own field. So the way to answer it is, hi, I'm a mechanical engineer. I specialize in problem solving within the mechanical engineering domain, be it automobiles, be it whatever. I want to deepen my skill set of the ability to deal with data and answer business questions using data. Therefore, I'm getting a master's in business analytics. My gate rank is 50. I am doing a master's computer science IIT Bombay. Will this help me get into a top 20 for same course? You want to drop out? Don't drop out, my friend. IIT Bombay is one of the most fabulous places from an academic perspective. I know there's a bunch of stuff going on around some personal stuff, but my sincere advice, will you be able to get into top 20? Yes, guaranteed. But I would recommend that you don't drop out. Get your degree and then apply for a second master's if you want to. Don't drop out. IIT Bombay is a dream for a lot of people, including myself. I couldn't fathom when I did not get into any of the IITs, right? When you have a chance, unless there's a lot of pressure on you and it's affecting your mental health, just take a step back. Probably don't drop out, but just to answer your question, yes, it will help you get into a top 20 if some of your other statistics and GRE is in place. MBA from a tier 2 institute in India versus an MEM after 1 year. How much work X do you have, Potterhead? I'll answer this question. Just put in how much work X you have so that, and your profile in general, so that I have a little better idea, right? Oh, great, Rohan, you've come to the right place. So here's a little bit of backstory, right? I don't think a lot of you know me in a personal capacity or in a professional capacity outside of Gradvine. I am the co-founder of Gradvine, but before that, I was a chemical engineer. I have a degree in data science. I have a master's degree from Carnegie Mellon in data science, which is where I learned everything I know about core data, probability, and statistics. So I am a practicing data scientist. Of course, I also lead Gradvine, and because of the applications process that I did by myself, I have a bunch of insight on that, right? Introduction to Statistical Learning, ISLR, by Trevor Hasty and Robert Tipshirani. Two professors at Stanford, the best introduction to statistics and probability book ever written by anyone ever. ISLR is the book. All of the exercises are in our book. Is also, there's a companion course that is free, either Coursera, wherever. It's also available on YouTube for free. So ISLR, Rohan, absolutely best. But if you're asking me, if you're starting out right now, I would be a little more careful in choosing R versus Python. I started with R, and I'm being pulled into the Python ecosystem because of other things that are existing out there. So if you haven't started already, maybe look at the trade-off between R and Python and go maybe towards Python. But if you want R, no better book, no better course than ISLR. Oh yes, absolutely. Irrespective of past year patterns, leave everything just based on common sense. Every single student going to the US is contributing 100,000 minimum US dollars to the US economy, which means that the US wants each and every one of you, which means that they will not let go of anyone they will not let even a single F1 student not be able to get the visa. There will be many more mass openings of slots, especially the Hyderabad consulate is opening up a bunch of slots this next week. There will be a bunch in Chennai opening up pretty soon. So don't worry, every single student, you heard it here first, every single F1 student, F1 applicant will get a visa slot 100% before the start of their semester. There will not be a single student who will miss out going to the US because they couldn't get a slot. Of course, if your visa gets rejected, that's a different case, but there won't be a single student this year or in the years to come that is not able to go because they couldn't find a slot, right? It's just a patience game. Don't worry at all. 100% will happen. Britika, I have a 9.95 GPA and I'm the university top medal. What are my chances of getting into the University of Waterloo? GRE is yet to be given. How do you get a 9.95, Ritika? Where did you lose the point 0.5? I'm very curious. Congratulations, you worked your butt off. Let me work my butt off to get you into the University of Waterloo. It's absolutely possible. But the only thing you need to keep in mind is the Canadian process is unlike the US process. You have to get in touch with professors first. You have to have their go ahead before you apply to universities, especially for the CS programs. So let me, because you have worked your butt off to get a 9.95, come to me. Let me for you and try and get you into the University of Waterloo. In terms of chances, fantastic, no point. 7.75, thanks for that. 7.75. Admit to tier 2 MBA, yeah, doesn't make sense, man. Without, so my biggest beef is going into an MBA program specifically without having WorkX. You are not able to appreciate what the MBA program is without actually sitting down and having gone through some work experience. You're just not there mentally. My recommendation 100% work for a bit and then either apply for a better MBA in India or go get the MEM degree. But if you're looking for an undergrad, sorry, if you're looking for something straight out now, go to an MEM instead of an MBA from a tier 2. Tier 2 MBAs in India, not that great. Avoid. First year's masters at IIT, yeah. So starting this year, should I drop out? I don't think you should drop out. But the second part of the question, will it help me get into a top 20? Yes, it will 100% help you get into a top 20. Don't worry about it, man. This is just a chill live session that I'm doing on a Sunday afternoon because India is losing. So you're not annoying. Don't worry. ISB versus top MEM. Absolutely fantastic question. Two of my students from 2 years ago, Pragati Priya and I forget the other person's name. Shakit. Pragati Priya got into ISB in India, got into Dartmouth for the MEM program, and chose to go to ISB and is very, very happy about the decision. How do you make the decision? If you have gotten into ISB and into a top three, which is Stanford, Dartmouth, maybe Columbia, Cornell, or Duke, that's the top, that's the third. If you've gotten into any one of these MEMs, right? Think about what the future is. Are you someone who's looking to go outside of India and settle down? If yes, there's no two ways about it, go do the MEM. But if you are someone who wants to work outside for a bit, gain some global exposure or something, and then come back to India and settle down, then that becomes a tricky proposition. In that case, I would recommend ISB. Sorry, MIS counterparts in Canada like MMA, are they good? What is job scenario? Ooh, I'm blanking out right now, Sarat. I don't remember MIS courses in Canada on the top of my head. MIS courses in Canada, I know Waterloo has one. MMA at Toronto, you pointed out. There's one at BC. There's one at McGill. They might be called different names, but in essence, something like a library science or something. But in essence, the same program cell. So yeah, good chances. Yeah, of course, no problem. That's what I'm here for. 8.3, 8 months. GRE, TOEFL not yet taken. ASU and similar colleges. Bharat, please aim higher. ASU, UT, Dallas, all of those are tier 3, tier 2.5, right? Aim higher, 8.3. You should be looking at UIUC, MCS, Texas A&M, NCSU. Those are the kinds of places you should be looking at. Will you get into ASU and similar? Yes, if you apply early. Is Waterloo as prestigious? It's the topmost college from Canada to work in the Silicon Valley. If you want to work in Silicon Valley, you should not be going to Canada. Ritika, if think about it logically, right? If you're a company in Silicon Valley, you won't hire from Canada. You will hire from Stanford, Berkeley, UCLA, UCSD, because talent is right there. Why would you go out of your way to hire someone from Canada, right? So if the idea is to work in Silicon Valley, go to the Valley. Don't go to Canada. But yes, Waterloo is absolutely prestigious. EB1, I'm in the process, so I can tell you once I get there. 8.5 from IIIT Allahabad, really high, difficult. Does this put me at a disadvantage? No, it does not. Universities in the US care about the GPA, but they also care about what you have done to show that you're interested in the area that you're applying to. For example, you're a computer science student. What have you done within computer science to build up your profile, right? Those are things that universities care about, not so much. They do, of course, care about the GPA, but there are other factors that they also care about, essentially. So, yeah, concentrate on getting as high as possible in terms of GPA. Do well on your GRE. Also, make sure to build your profile along the same time. Yash, just schedule a free consultation call. Sign up with us. Love to help you out. I don't think, first of all, I think IIIT Allahabad as a university, I think we've seen a bunch of students through Gradvine get into really good places like Purdue, Georgia Tech. I remember a couple of folks, I think one of them did get into Carnegie Mellon for CS Allied sort of course. So absolutely wonderful students coming out of there. Lovely working with them as well in the past. So definitely we'll be able to help you guys out. All right, fantastic. I did not expect so many questions to come on a Sunday evening. Just again, the Discord link, I'm putting that up again. Make sure to join Discord. That's where I'm at. I'm going to be available to you guys both one-on-one and free consultation calls. Any and all questions you guys have, absolutely bring them on. Thanks so much for tuning on a Sunday afternoon. I know India is losing, but unfortunately can't really do much on that. I can, however, get you into a really good university abroad or in India, for example, ISB. That's pretty much it from me. Not going to ramble for too much longer. I will let you have a good rest of the Sunday. Thanks so much for joining in. Take care. See you.